Is it possible that you can pray a very okay prayer, but it is not so impressive to God? What do I mean by an okay prayer? A prayer, for example, you're praying for yourself to be healed and things like that, but it is not the kind of prayer that really impresses God. Recently, I was reading the encounter where Solomon was asked by God, "What do you want me to give you?" And we find that Solomon answered and said, "Give me wisdom or give me discretion so that I will be able to govern the people of Israel." And God responded in a manner to show that he was very impressed by that prayer by Solomon. In the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 1 verse 11, it reports, God said to Solomon, "Since this is your heart's desire, and you have not asked for wealth, possessions, or honor, nor for the death of your enemies, and since you have not asked for a long life, but for wisdom and knowledge to govern my people, over whom I have made you king, therefore wisdom and knowledge will be given you, and I will also give wealth, possessions, and honor, just as such as no king who was before you ever had, and none after you will have." God was so impressed by the request for wisdom or discretion by Solomon so that he could rule his people. And he said, "You didn't ask for the things people would ask." And he says one of them is wealth. And many of us are busy asking for wealth, but it seems God is not so impressed. Not that there is anything wrong with wealth, but he is not so impressed when you are just thinking about yourself. Then he says, when you ask for power or honor to be respected, when in a position of authority, Solomon didn't ask for that, and he commends him for that. And finally he says, you didn't even ask for longevity. You didn't ask to live for long. But what you have asked, it is not that God was impressed just that he asked for wisdom, but he said, I believe that what impressed God is because Solomon said, "Give me wisdom that I may be able to govern your people." And God even says, "You have asked for wisdom and knowledge to govern my people." It gives me the impression that God is impressed by our prayers when we are praying for that which will help us to do good to others and his people. God is concerned with his church. So for example, if you're praying that God will equip you with whatever so that you will be a better minister, you will be a better person in terms of relating with other people or influencing other people, I think that's the kind of prayer that impresses God. So I want to urge us to think more in line with what is God's agenda, what is in line with God's plan for his people. Remember, he gave his son to die for people. Both the Christian and the non-Christian are of importance in the eyes of God. The Christian so that they continue holding on to the faith. So if you are praying that you may help those that are already believers, then God will be impressed. Similarly, if you're praying that God may help you to witness to the non-believers so that they can know God, I think also God will be impressed. The key is praying so that you can serve God's people. May the Lord help us in our prayer. This is Karita Mbagara. I am delighted to share with you this. May I hear what you think about it. Have a great week.